Hi Alex, does that mean we're live? We're live, everybody. Hello. Greg from Balloon Market here, and I've got Angharad beside me. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry we're late.
My fault.
Angharad's fault entirely, nothing to do with me, but very ambitious. As you can see behind us, that's what Angharad wanted to build in order to have a nice backdrop. Took a little bit longer than you expected, didn't it?
Yeah, I gave myself an hour, which is a bit slim, I think. I mean, it got bigger and bigger as I was going.
But it's lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah.
And of course, this is demonstrating all the, well, not all of the Tuftex colours, but some of the Tuftex
Some of the bright,
colours.
Summery ones.
It's lovely. I really, really like that. And that's just attached to the wall with a couple of
like 3 of the tiniest command hooks and some fishing wire.
Are they just the ones that we had on there already?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I did put a couple on the skirting board just to start it off. Yeah. But yeah, just attached with a few things on the wall.
Cool.
Yeah.
We've got a very special guest that just said hi. Rebecca Phelps. That's Bex, everybody. Hi, Bex. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Do you miss it? Do you miss being on the sofa? Yeah, anyway, so yes, what we're going to do today, everybody, is we're going to have a chat about all sorts of stuff. But if you do have any questions about anything at all, please put them in the comments, and I can see the comments here. They're quite large, so I can even see them without my glasses. But if I do need my glasses, they're on Percy Penguin Bear, or whatever we want to call him. Yeah. So, Angharad, we've obviously been filming BMTV. I've got to know you a little bit over the last couple of days. Find out a little bit more about your story, but those BMTVs are going to be going out in the coming weeks and months. Yeah. So, for everybody that might be their first time seeing you, stop you looking at the class.
Sorry, I was just looking at the compliment on the balloons.
Okay. All the better for seeing you guys. And Bex likes the balloons.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Thanks,
so yeah, just for everybody that might not know who you are, in a minute or two, tell everybody your story.
Okay, so I've always been a bit of a creative. I've done art, and we've discussed about me doing my very niche study at university, which was car design. Yeah. So I've always been a bit of a design person. Yeah, my friend asked me to do this crazy thing she'd seen on Pinterest with balloons. So I was the friend. You know, you always get the hairdresser friend or the makeup friend. I was the friend that would decorate. And then I fell in love with it and did 2. And then I got asked by a complete stranger to do 1. And then got paid for it. And it just, I set up an Instagram, and then here I am, which is insane. Yeah.
So that was pre-COVID that you
set
up?
Yeah, so it was 2019. Okay. Yeah. So it was my first official balloon art, which is on my Instagram, so you can check it out. It's right at the bottom.
I did try to scroll down earlier on.
Well, there's that many.
Yeah, I'm never going to have the time to do that.
I'll get it out of the archive. Okay. But yeah, it's still there, and it's awful, but I'm never going to take it down, because it just goes to show what you can go from that with a little bit of knowledge and training experience and what you can.
Because you were really
consume.
chuffed with it, weren't you? The first
I was
one.
so chuffed with it, and I even joked with a drink in my hand. I said, "I'm going to charge people for this," and it's always a long-standing joke between me and my friend that that's how funny that I said that, and then it's my full-time career.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
That's amazing. And prior to that, you were in something completely different, weren't you?
yeah, recruitment.
Recruitment.
Yeah.
That's where I came from as well.
Yeah.
So, but a slightly different type of recruitment.
Yeah.
But yeah, so recruitment to balloons.
I know.
Wild.
It's a funny world, isn't it?
It is. It is. Anyway, have we got any other House of Monroe says, "Hey girl."
Hey girl.
Olivia says, "Hello." Hello, Olivia. So obviously we've chatted, I'd say, lots and lots over the last couple of days, and some of your insights into business and your experience and everything is, I find really interesting. But whilst we're here and we've got a whole bunch of Tuftex balloons behind us, you have your own business, obviously.
Yeah.
Angharad's Party Art.
Yeah.
Check it out.
And the school.
And Angharad's Party Art School. Check them both out on Instagram or your website. What's your website?
It's angharad'spartyart.co.uk.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Go and have a look at that as well. But you have been working closely with Tuftex.
Yeah.
That's why you're here today. That's why we've been filming.
Yeah.
And you quite like the Tuftex brand, don't you?
Yeah, understatement. But
Let's talk a little.
I love
Let's
them.
talk a little bit about Tuftex.
Well, so the backstory of Tuftex?
Yeah, go on.
So in 1915, that was when the factory opened in America.
Okay. I didn't expect that. I thought I was just going to talk about
because I can do me and Tuftex.
No, do the full thing. I'm interested.
I can do the full thing.
In 1915.
1915, the Tuftex factories opened, and they used to just do 17-inch balloons for garage forecourts for helium. So that's where it all started. But then they got some lovely new owners, which is Alison, our fave. So she took on the business and reformed it into what it is today with the multiple sizes, the amazing range of colours, which is where I was so desperate to get Tuftex. I messaged the account and I got a response back, and I didn't realise that it was Alison responding back, but whenever you message the page, it is her messaging back. And I said, "Where can I get your balloons from?" Because nowhere sold them, and there was this one supplier that had them. And I just had to have this. It was the fall range, so it was the mustard, the sangria, the evergreen, burnt orange, and I was just like, I just need all of those colours. And then I got them, did my little display with them, and I just had to continue getting them because they just kept on coming out with so many great colours. I
think that's the thing. That's the thing that got Tuftex here in the UK was those colours that nobody else was doing, and they were so unique, so absolutely lovely.
And
lovely
just
colours.
the quality as well. Like I love the thickness of them. I really like that you can be really rough with them, you know. So and you can squidge them into place, and they're so good in the sun.
You were doing something, I think it was yesterday, and you're doing the, I don't want to give too much away because you can see but the things that go up and down.
Oh, yeah.
And you were properly twisting the balloon on top.
Yeah.
And obviously it's made of metal, and I just thought the cup part was just going to burst it. Just didn't. No issue at all.
No.
In fact, I've not heard you burst any balloons. Have you burst any?
I popped one this morning, but that was on a sharp piece of my frame.
Okay.
So that was, but there's only been one pop the whole time.
Yeah.
That we've done. And I mean, we've blown up a lot of balloons over the past couple of days.
You have indeed.
Yeah.
You have blown up a lot. You're looking at questions, right?
Oh,
I think we've got some questions.
Oh.
All right. Okay, Olivia has said, any recommendations for a new balloon artist?
In regards to balloon, well, I mean,
Olivia, if there's anything specific,
yeah,
put the comment in there and we can answer that. But if not, I mean, we talked about that on one of the shows.
Yeah, I did. Talked about what is the best advice that I would give setting up. So keep an eye out for that that show, because I do delve into it.
I mean, you can talk about it now.
Talk about it now.
Yeah, that show's going on in a few months.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just to be brave, I think, to start off with and come up with something new. I swore by the ones that I come up with that I'd not seen before, whether they'd been done before or not, I'd not seen them before, but those like brave moments, they are what made my stuff go viral. So some of them flopped, some of them were big like duds, but you just never know what's going to go out there. So just give everything a go. Try everything, practice, do things for your friends, your family. Just always have a balloon in your hand if you're starting out. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'd say practice as well.
Yeah.
Don't be frightened of using your stock
No.
to practice. Just practice. Because if you don't practice, you're never going to be able to produce good stuff. So
I'd always just be so excited. I'd like think of a different like colour way of doing something that I'd done before, but then the practice to do it again and just getting excited about, oh, I'll do it in these different colours or I'll add something else to it. And just did it for the photograph, for the content, and then maybe gave it to someone after.
Yeah.
So.
And you were telling me about your huggy your balloon?
Well, it was an air hug.
Air hug.
So it was in the pandemic when everyone couldn't really see each other. I offered the contactless delivery of an air hug, which was just a tabletop air-filled design, which said air hug on it. Yeah. And that went wild. But then people were like, oh, can I have an air hug? But can it say happy birthday on it? And I was like, oh, I'm going to have to think of a name for this. So then I had to think of the air hug, had to be a hugger.
Is that then because people wanted an air hug because they couldn't physically hug in the pandemic?
Yeah. So it was like a hug in a bubble. So it was like an air hug. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So and I wrote like a personalised message on whatever they wanted me to write, and then I left it on the doorstep and knocked on and did all that because I could still do that in my work.
Strange times, isn't it, when you look back at it now?
Yeah.
It was only. It seems like it was so long ago as well.
I know.
But it was literally.
But
just
before
3 years
that,
ago.
before I did that little design, I was in tears thinking my business was over, and I'd just got excited. I'd learned some new techniques, and I'd just done my daughter's first birthday party, and it was huge. And then 2 days later, it was lockdown, and I just was heartbroken.
Yeah. I remember when it hit, and we closed for 4 weeks, and I was at home for those 4 weeks doing cash flow planning, thinking, okay, there was 22 people in the business at the time, and I was thinking we'd be coming back to, I'd have to get rid of at least 10, 12 people, just thinking the worst. I was doing all this cash flow planning and spreadsheets everywhere, literally for 4 weeks, and coming up with different scenarios, talking to suppliers, seeing if I could get extensions of credit and all that sort of stuff. And it was horrible. And then needless to say, we all came back, and our industry, thankfully,
boomed.
Just went crazy. Didn't
I think
it?
everyone just wanted to make those special occasions a little bit more special. I think, and it did. It was crazy, and because you couldn't get balloons in the supermarkets either, they couldn't do it. Like Card Factory wasn't open, nowhere was open, so everybody was just loving the up the road balloon artists, weren't they? They were just getting everything from us.
We've got a few more comments. Right, so quite a lot. Any recommendations?
Name the colours.
Yeah,
of course.
do you know the colours?
Okay, so which can we see all the way down to goldenrod at the back?
Just about.
Yeah. So we've got goldenrod at the bottom here, and we've got hot pink over there. We've got coral. We've got one of my favourites, which is sea glass. We've got pixie over here, and then in the bottom right-hand corner, right-hand corner is aloha.
Yeah.
So,
Pixie is the best name, in my opinion. Okay, Olivia's come back to us and said training and marketing. Well, I think we can go to Angharad's training school. That would be quite a good thing.
I mean, my training I offer, it's everything from helium bubbles to tabletops. I do mosaics from scratch in there. I do some pricing training, some vinyl training, organics, hoops. I mean, there's that much that is on there, and I've still got loads more to film, so there's loads more to come. So
I think education in general is a really good investment. So if that is going to your school, if it's going on YouTube, BMTV, if it's going to in-person training, if it is doing anything like that, just educating yourself, finding out more about the industry, finding out more about how to do things, be it pricing, be it the actual balloon side, all that is an investment in
Yeah.
you. So, yeah, that's really good. And marketing, wow, that's a big subject, isn't it?
Marketing, I just think you've just got to put yourself out as on as many platforms as possible. Like I say, just spread yourself across as many things as possible. Give out leaflets, be on a website, have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, be available on WhatsApp, be available on email, be available to call. I've got like a call app which rings an office number, so people think they're ringing an office, but it comes through to my mobile phone, so it looks like you're more professional, like you've got a business with a landline. They're using landlines anymore, but that sort of thing helps when you're running a business as well. And I think another thing, if you're just starting out, it's to make friends as well. I would say make friends in the industry, because you can't have too many friends in the industry.
And it goes back
networking.
It goes back to the investment in yourself, because having people that you know and talk to in the industry, you're learning constantly. Even the ones that you're just picking up the phone to have a little rant, a little moan, you know, they'll come back with something that you wouldn't have thought of necessarily, and just chatting as well. Like, I mean, I've learned stuff whilst I've been here, so it's just chatting and stuff. I loved it earlier on when we were filming, and you were talking about let people get in touch with you, how they want to get in touch with you, which is one of my things that I focus on as well. I've always hated it when you sign up a form online, method you'd like to be contacted, email, and then somebody picks up the phone.
I've just tried it so many times, and it's never worked. It's always decreased my business. So as much as it's harder for you to be across all them platforms, it's just you're going to cover more bases and get more business, which is what we're doing when we open up a balloon business. I
mean, it's not going to be being in business is not easy. You've got to put the effort in to get anything out of it. So.
Definitely. Just scroll down to see the first arch.
Oh, you're getting ahead. You're getting ahead. Okay, just scroll down to see the first arch, and wow. You've come so far. So it must have been really bad.
It
was.
I'm
joking.
It was awful. I don't even know how. I think I just propped it over the top of an open door, so it just like slid in between there, and then I tied it with some string, and stuck with blue tack, and that was it.
How long did it take you to scroll down, Hayley? I tried for ages. Nice balloon art. Can you recommend a good pearl colour balloon?
Yes. So Tuftex Sugar is gorgeous, which we've used that in
one of the shows.
One of the shows. It's really it's a very nice. It's more opaque white pearl. It's got a really nice pearl essence to it. It's a really nice balloon, and lace is a little bit pearly as well.
Yeah.
Lace is like the ivory pearl. Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions? Nice. Please put them there. Or any more comments? Now, you mentioned or alluded to the fact that you had a unique university education, in that you studied car design. Yeah. Which is very niche. Yeah. Very niche.
I was the only girl on the course.
Yeah. Yeah. But so what happened? Why did you not go down? Why did you not go into car design?
So basically, I had my children, and it's one of those jobs where as soon as you've finished your degree, you need to go to LA or you need to go to Germany, and that's where it is, and it's such a competitive world, and I just couldn't commit any further to it. So I chose to be a mum instead.
Would you like to have done it? I'm not saying.
Oh yeah,
I mean, if you hadn't had kids, would you have done it?
I loved it. Yeah, I loved it. It would have been hard work, but yeah. Yeah. It's all the different techniques you learn in car design, like the clay modelling, and you do tape drawing, and all the ergonomics and everything with it.
Do you think that degree and that creativity side of that degree has helped you doing what you do now?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel, coming from recruitment and then the job I do now, I feel like I'm more home at where I'm supposed to be,
Yeah.
because I did feel sometimes I was a bit wasting myself.
Yeah.
So I used to do a little bit of hair braiding on the side as well,
right,
like
okay.
so with stuff, because I've always just liked getting to a final product at the end of it. Like I love decorating.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bit of a psycho when it comes to decorating though. People can't decorate with me.
Yeah.
I just like getting to the end thing
Yeah.
and then sitting down and being like that. So it's quite like that with balloons, when you're making something and then at the end you just feel good at the end of it.
I really liked it because obviously we were rushing this, and then before you were still doing the finishing touches, we were moving things around, getting the sofa
Yeah.
here and all the rest of it. And it is something really nice about clearing everything up afterwards,
Yeah.
and then taking a
putting
stand
it
back
all-
and just
yeah.
looking at it.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Only a few minutes it took Hayley to scroll down. That's not too bad. And her first is much worse.
Oh,
So
it's not.
well, it's I think if we all look back at any work that we did when we first started, it's never as good as you are now. That's
Yeah.
just the way
You're
it is.
always just improving all the time.
I've got a question for you. It's not one that I asked during any of the filming, but what's been your most challenging thing you've had to deal with in the last 4 years?
I suppose it was navigating, moving from my living room into, I think the challenging was making the decision to move from essentially a free space into like my big unit, which now I can hold my classes from and everything like that. So I suppose the most challenging was me like working that out on if it's going to be a feasible option or not, and then doing that and
Did it seem like it was going to be really difficult to do that?
I mean, the part of me that was so excited to do it kind of took over a bit, but it's been challenging now, like just navigating like that I've got overheads now. That's the more challenging bit.
Because
I
you
think.
rent, is it the rent you're paying now that you told me about?
Yeah.
That's where it started. Because that's a
Yeah.
considerable sum for,
Yeah.
you know, you're just getting on with life and you've had
Yeah.
a job before and now you start your business and
Yeah.
then boom, all of a sudden you've got this huge rent bill to pay that
Yeah.
you didn't have to pay yesterday.
No.
And you think, oh my God, how am I going to afford that? But that's where you've got to have the faith
And you've got to, it kind of does give you the drive to push through and do a bit more
yeah.
than what you would do normally, but I've got the vision of where it's going to be, and because it is huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge space, but hopefully I'll be able to get there a bit quicker than what it's going at the minute, but it'll get there.
I think that's the thing. If you've got to have that vision. If you don't have that vision, you don't know where you. That's what they say. If you don't have a map, how do you know where you want to go? And you've got to know where you want to be.
It was just getting so frustrating in such a. I think my unit was probably about the as big as the back of here to where we are. So in my storage unit that I had. And then I had a separate storage unit as well. So I was having an overhead for that. And then I had this, it's like a shipping container that got doors and windows on it. And it was all like boarded out inside.
Yeah.
But I was making balloons up, and like I had balloons at that end and that end. And it was just, I mean, you've seen how chaotic I work.
Yeah. It's not that bad. It's not that bad at all.
So you can only imagine what my unit looks like after I've done like 5 setups on a weekend. It gets crazy, but it's good that I've got the space. I just sling it in and then I'm like out and then put it in. So
Have you ever had a moment in the last 4 years where you've just thought, it's not worth it? Have you?
Yeah, I have. Mainly where I haven't worked out my life-work balance. So I either become like a very absent mom, which happens because the business takes over your life, or I neglect the business and become a very good mum at home. And like, so it's weighing up that. I think I've found a little bit better of a balance now.
And obviously you can't give up being a mum, because that's a bit of a permanent commitment.
No, but sometimes it does end up being that I'm at work a bit too much and then I'm not at home at the weekend. So that's the juggling act, and I think most parents can relate to that with.
Absolutely, and we went through exactly that when we started this business 19 years ago, and our daughter was born at the same time, and it was thankfully I was made redundant 6 months into it, so thankfully there ended up being two of us.
Yeah.
And I was just, before I was made redundant from my job, I was working late into the evening and all of that, and you just do whatever you've got to do to get through it. But yeah, it can be quite difficult. I remember once I saw Michelle Moan, and she's the owner of, I can't remember the name of the underwear brand, but I saw her speaking at a place, and she just knew that, okay, I am going to have to be in London during the week, and she lived in Glasgow, and I'll be in Glasgow at the weekend. So Friday afternoon, I think, or was it Thursday afternoon, she'd fly back up to Glasgow, come back down Sunday afternoon to London. And she knew that she was sacrificing some of the time she's spending with her children, but her husband thankfully picked that up, and that's just the lifestyle they chose.
That's what happens. That's what happens with me. I'm lucky that we've got a great family unit, and so I've got 2 teenagers. Yeah. And then Winnie with her additional needs as well, who's 4. So
how old are the 2 teenagers?
So 14 and 15. So soon to be 15 and 16.
I'm sure they're lovely ages. I'm sure they're perfectly lovely.
Lovely. I'm sure they're watching on Instagram right now.
I'm sure. Andrew, hello again. Hi from Scotland. Nice to have another guest interview. So now you mentioned something earlier on that you've mentioned the platforms, you've mentioned Insta. I mean, when you talked about marketing, you mentioned so many different things. And I guess that's the thing with marketing, isn't it? There's not just one thing that you do these days. So, and it's not just a matter of putting up a website. It's not just a matter of using MailChimp to send out a few emails to your mailing list. You've got to be doing everything, absolutely everything.
And that's what I think I need to do more, is I need to actively reach out to, rather than just being available for people to come into me. I need to actively reach out to people as well, which sometimes takes the back burner.
So would you say it's Instagram that works best for you?
I would say yes, Instagram and Facebook. I still do really well on Facebook. Because a lot of people share my stuff on there, so the reach on Facebook is quite good for me, to be fair. So.
I think you've just got to decide what you like, what's comfortable for you, but you've got to do the other things that aren't comfortable as well.
You've got to be on it every single day as well.
But what I wanted to ask you was, you've obviously started doing something else that you mentioned about an hour ago that you hadn't mentioned in the 2 days that you've been here. But you've got a podcast as well.
Yep, a podcast.
So tell me about that.
So me and Alice from Jacob's Balloons, we've always had like a phone conversation where we just, you'll have your moans, you have your like, oh my God, this is happening, I'm so excited, and all that sort of stuff. So, and she's always wanted to do a podcast, and she saw that I put out that I wanted to do a podcast, but I think we were both just like, well, we're not going to do it on our own, so let's do it together. So we've come up with a podcast which is called Not Your Standard Balloon Chat. So we just pick a topic every week. So we've had like the Amazon kit versus the professional artist. That was a great episode. We've had the highs and the lows. We've had the importance of friends in the industry. And we literally just, it's like we're on a phone conversation to each other. They're always about half an hour long. We have live listeners, we have replay listeners, so you can listen back. So that's got its own Instagram as well, which we've been sharing, but we're trying to gain a bit of traction with that, because we're not making any money from it. It's just if you tune in, and most people have found it useful because they've thought they can relate to the experiences that we're having, because we are in the industry as well. So we have them. The clients that you're having, we have the complaints that you're having, we have the highs as well that you're having. So we just literally chat about it as though we're just on the phone to each other.
It's really interesting, because I think most businesses, no matter how big or small, they share the same issues. And I've been to coaching sessions and things like that with different businesses. And businesses that are engineering businesses share the same problems that we share, share the same problems that somebody that might own a physiotherapy business or whatever. And it's really interesting, and I think it is good to talk. And if you've got somebody that you get on well with, and you can openly share things, and you're
Yeah.
happy for everybody to have a listen to see what these issues are.
And we have we have some regular listeners as well, and there's a little chat that you can chat to as well. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
live as
yeah.
well. So
So what
you can ask
platform
questions.
do you do it on?
So it's called Clubhouse that we're
Oh,
doing
right,
it on.
okay,
So
yeah.
so yeah, it's tomorrow now. The next one is, because I was here for the last one. We're normally Tuesday at 10 o'clock every Tuesday in the morning.
I don't know if it's the same now, but Clubhouse, you used to have to be invited to be able to sign up. Can anybody sign up
Well,
to Clubhouse
we
now?
do put a link on our stories which will invite you to our house.
Okay.
So yeah.
So yeah, I might have to have a listen to that.
Yeah.
So that's the only place that you can
Currently,
listen.
yes, I think we are going to look into other options, because we want to go into like filming whilst we're doing it as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get some proper equipment. But we're just seeing how it goes for now, and that is the perfect app to make a start on a podcast.
Yeah, Stephen Bartlett style. So
Yeah.
you want to get filming, you want
Yeah,
to get his
yeah.
very nice studio. Do you listen to the Diary of a CEO at all? Have you listened
No,
to him?
I've not listened.
It's a really
no.
good podcast.
Yeah.
There's some really good guests. I think he had a guest, slightly different type of content, but she is the most successful female podcaster in the world.
Oh.
I think she's in her 20s, but the content she talks about is all about sex. So,
That's
but
probably why.
but yeah, probably why. But they go delve into all sorts
Yeah.
of things. But yeah, the most success. It was really interesting listening. I've not listened to her podcast, but I've listened to her talking about her podcast
yeah.
and how she views it and
Yeah.
stuff. And it's really
Because
interesting.
we're not, I mean, I've not really looked into it, but I'm not even sure. I think that some other people who are on Clubhouse can listen to ours. I haven't actually looked at the listener list to see if somebody who doesn't do balloons does it,
Yeah,
has had a listen.
yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
interesting. I think I've got a few other
We'll have
things
to
here.
see. Tuftex.
Pat Windsor says you don't look old enough to have teenagers.
Hey.
You started when you were what?
5.
Do you have much local competition in your area?
There is. I mean, we don't see each other as competition in our area. There's a lot of balloon artists in Stoke, and we're all friends. We all
Okay.
borrow off each other. We all like give each other work if we can't do it. We
Yeah.
are really like quite close knit when it comes to that, and a lot of like a few are people who've trained with me. So, and then it's nice. I've not got any bad blood with anyone
Yeah.
in my area, or any sort of like.
That's quite refreshing to hear that,
Competition,
because
yeah.
competition can be. I mean, we've talked to some of our competitors as well, and it's nice. You just compare notes
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's enough work out there for everyone, and I think that I'm lucky in our area that everyone's kind of at the standard of pricing that's acceptable. So it is across the board, and people will just buy from who they want to buy from, and there's no like, oh, they've gone with them, or there's none of that. It's actually really quite
wasted energy
nice.
if you're doing that, really.
Yeah.
Okay. Up and away balloon says, "Go, Annie." Oh, Tuftex. Is that Alison? Do you reckon that's
Yes,
Alison? Hi,
it
Alison.
will be.
Hello. And you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, that's good. What excited to have Annie with in July, our first Tuftex experience. What's that, Annie?
Yes. So I am going for my first time ever to America.
You've never been to America?
I've never been to
Oh,
America.
wow,
I've been
okay.
the other side. I've been Australia, but
Yeah.
I've never been to America. So I can't wait to go.
So tell us a bit more about that.
So it is a 3-day experience, all about training,
Oh,
learning. There's 300 people coming to this big experience,
wow.
and yeah, there's so many like amazing artists over there, and yeah, I'm coming from over here to go.
So it's a big Tuftex experience,
Yeah.
a big expo kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's going to be you and others.
Oh yeah.
And
There's
what are you
some-
going to be doing? Training?
Yeah,
or-
so I've got 2 classes that I'll be teaching twice. So I'm doing a big organics hands-on class, which I'm really excited for. It's going to be so much fun. And then I am doing a demonstration of my colour wall, which I've done before. So that's going to be a demo
Okay.
in front of people. So yeah, teaching 2 classes twice.
And where is that?
It's in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, and the date, do you have the date?
Is the 8th of July.
Okay,
Yeah.
and if people want to go, Alison, have you got a link that you could put in the comments here that people
I think
can
it's sold out, Greg.
It's sold out,
Sold
Alison.
out.
Don't worry, don't
There's
do
a
that.
huge
If
waiting
it's
list.
sold out, there's a. If you got a link, Alison, that you could put on there if people want to join the waiting list, that might be worthwhile. That's amazing. So 300 people, and it's all sold out.
Yeah.
So it's in Cleveland.
Cleveland.
And it's what in a,
It's
a big
like
hotel
daytime
or...
night. There's a daytime, so that all the daytime is training, learning, networking, and then the evenings, like Alison has gone all out with entertainment. So we're going on a boat one night. We're having like a big party one night. So it's
3 days.
yeah.
Oh my God.
I know it's going to be so much fun.
There won't be any alcohol though, will there?
Oh, 360. I got it wrong.
360 people.
360.
Oh my. Where is it? In a big hotel then? Is it going to
Yeah,
be big?
so we'll all be like going from different rooms and stuff, and then we'll have a big decorating area for what we're going to decorate as soon as we get there. So yeah,
Oh wow.
it's going to be insane.
Sounds amazing.
And I'm so lucky that I'm going. I'm honestly like, can't believe that it's me going. I'm going there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fantastic. Oh, I look forward to finding out more about that. That sounds absolutely amazing.
Exciting stuff.
Absolutely amazing. Right. What else should we talk about? What do you want to talk about?
What shall I talk about? Well, we've delved into...
We've had car design.
We've had car
What's your
design.
favourite car? I know I've asked that on one of the shows. But
Oh, well, it was...
you should tell everybody.
Well, my favourite car, it was from childhood, and it's quite iconic. But it's the Ford Probe.
Ford Probe, everybody. There we are.
The Ford Probe,
the greatest name for a car.
It was the wraparound light around the back
Yeah.
that I liked.
Yeah.
That was what I liked, and I always wanted one.
Yeah.
And my first car was a Hyundai Amica, and it was yellow, and it was like a big block of cheese that people used to say I used to drive around in. So that was my first car.
Nice.
So yeah.
Mine was a Ford Escort, Mark II Escort.
Was it?
1600 gear, brown vinyl roof. Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Crashed it 4 days after I had it. I crashed it. I bumped into something. I didn't really crash, and I was the only one involved. But yeah, that was iconic as well. Anybody got any more questions for Angharad? Clearly not. Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about car design. Your favourite car. Going away from that now, but what is the future for you?
Well, I mean, we spoke about this, didn't we, the other day? And I think at the minute, my goal is to completely renovate the rest of my unit. I've had like my big, nice, shiny grey floor put down, so I've got my classroom section. There is some tweaks that I want to make to that. And then my breakout rooms being done. I've got a balloon room, and then I want a nice big shop section for the front, so when people come in to collect, they're not seeing everything. They're not seeing my me dumping my stuff when I've come in from a setup. It's going to be nice, Instagrammable sort of shop, because I do everything. So I've got like collections of the smaller stuff, my shop stuff, and then the bigger stuff. So that's the goal, is to get my unit nice and organised. And I really, really want to get the jars. I want to be one of them people that's got the balloons in the jars. Like, it's a goal. But I used to have the little Tupperware things stacked up on top of each other. But every time I'd pull it out, they'd all fall on me. Yeah. I really want to have one of them walls that's just all the jars, and I can put them in colour order and like.
So your goal is jars.
That's my goal,
that's your goal.
My goal's jars. I want to be one of them people.
Jars full of balloons.
And if you're one of them people with the jars, I'm envious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your units, you're going to be having that separate area. You're going to have a nice retail area for people to come in and collect.
Yeah.
And all of that. And well, what do you want from your business in the future? So do you want to?
I want to have a team.
Okay.
I want to have a team of people that can work alongside me. Like I was saying to you, I've loved how it's been. So on my videos, I just talk to the camera, just me. But it's nice to talk back and forward, so it'd be nice to get maybe somebody else to come in to talk on my training videos as well and stuff like that. So I mean, there's loads of things that I want to do. It's just getting it all done.
So 5 years from now,
Yeah.
what's your business going to look like?
Probably regular, like, face-to-face group classes being held at the unit, and hopefully I could just drive around like with an iced latte on a Saturday, just checking off everyone's work that they've done for me.
All right.
That would be lovely.
It's interesting because in the States, there's quite a few people that have quite large businesses where they have a team of people, and they've made balloon decor into a process almost. So they've got the formula for everything. Go out, you've got 20 arches on a Saturday to do. Yeah. And so off they go, their team go out and do 20 arches on a Saturday. Whereas obviously as an individual or even as a couple, doing 20 arches in one day
and
would
it's
be quite a
hard to
challenge.
translate what I do because it's a certain style, it's a certain thing, then people, like, I have such a good relationship with my clients that it'd be hard to transition from that into having somebody else go out there and do it. Yeah. And it'd be something like that, because I think quite a lot of my clients buy from me personally.
Yeah. It is really hard, when you first do that, no matter what you do. When we started the business, it was balloon in a box, and that was from home. And of course, the first employee we had was somebody that come in and worked for us 4 hours a day. I was still working, so I hadn't officially joined the business, even though I'd obviously dealt with it in the evenings. And this person would come in, inflate balloons, put them in boxes, but there's a very specific way that we used to do it, tissue paper in the bottom, all of that. And teaching all of that, and then trusting somebody to do it, and then they don't do it right, and you've got to correct them, and it's quite a challenge. It is quite a challenge. That first person is the absolute hardest person to bring into your business, and then as you grow, it does get easier, I guess, but then that's because you end up hiring people that have those skills already. So even though it's your style, it's the challenge for you is translating that into something that other people can understand, and then go out there and do it for you. And hopefully you'll get to the point that you won't have to go and drive around with your iced latte. And
iced latte.
What is your coffee of preference? Is it an iced latte?
I mean, I am a standard coffee pit, so I'm a coffee to sweeten it with milk. Okay. But the milk has to go in first. A coffee boiled is a coffee spoiled, and then. But I do like an iced coffee. Okay. I do like an iced coffee.
So you're saying that my coffee I made you wasn't very good, that's why you didn't drink it? Because
I
put the hot water in first.
No, I drank my first coffee. It was nice.
Oh, who made you the second one?
Alex made me the second one. But I didn't have time to drink it. I didn't have time to drink it. We were on a schedule, a tight schedule.
Oh dear.
I was flustered.
Oh, that is funny. But yeah, I've discovered chai latte, so that's quite nice.
I've never delved into the chai, because can you have a chai tea as well?
I think it is a chai. So is it chai latte? How can it be tea and a latte?
Is it just like a warm?
I don't know. I really like the flavour. Yeah. So is it a coffee? Yeah, I don't know. I just like the taste of it. Yeah. And it was Bex that got me into them. So she visits and brings a coffee every now and then. Not for a while though. Hey Bex. All right, I've got another question from Macy. Do you demonstrate or train your balloon art online?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
So I have an app platform. If you want to check it out, it's Angharad's Party Art, and you can find the Party Art School link in there, which will take you to another Instagram.
So you're saying about Instagram, so Angharad's Party Art.
So Angharad's Party Art on Instagram, and then if you go, or just add on school to the end of that, you'll find Angharad's Party Art School, and there's a link in the bio. Now that app is just a monthly subscription app, and I teach pretty much everything that I do on there. I've heard from a few of the people who come on there that I teach it quite simply, so it's quite I break it down and teach it in the way that I have found out to do, because I am self-taught, so it might not be the right way, like I said, but there's no right way of doing balloons if the end result comes out the same.
Yeah.
So if it works for you, then it's, you know, it's.
Plus, you'll still be learning as well.
Yeah,
so...
I'm still learning stuff, but as soon as I learn that new thing, I'm straight on there and I'll let you all know.
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
straight
and that's
away.
the thing. I think that's the thing to definitely accept. You cannot know everything.
No.
And I think the moment you think you know everything about business or about balloons or about balloon art or whatever,
Yeah.
I think that's when you've lost it.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. Lorraine loves the wall.
Thank you.
It is quite nice. It was very ambitious though, an hour. That was a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
It ended up taking, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah.
With two of you doing it as well.
With two of
So you were
us.
looking at an hour on your own.
I know.
Yeah.
I should have like scaled it down. It was because I went a bit like over the top on that side, so then I had to put more on that side to like even it out. It visually didn't look right for me.
So when you're out and you're doing a job,
yeah,
and you have an experience like this, like you're going all out there, and then you realise there, and time's ticking. What do you do? How do you deal with that kind of situation?
It always just seems to work out. But most of the time I do, most of my bookings are normally something that I've done before. Like I've not done a wall like that size before. I've done this technique, which is in the app, as an organic Christmas tree up the wall.
Okay.
So that one worked out quite nice, and that's the same technique as what I've used here.
Yeah.
But I've never done something to that size in that technique
Yeah.
before.
So if you do get something that you've never done before, somebody
Yeah.
asks you for something, what do? Do you just
I
say...
normally have a little bit of a go of it at home or while at my unit. I normally have a little bit of a go to see how it works. Like I think like the Minnie Mouse ears on a hoop like that. So I've got my own way of doing that, and it works out pretty easy and pretty swift. So
if I was to phone you up and say, listen, I need this thing on Saturday, and it's like today, Thursday, Wednesday. I don't know what day it is, but for the weekend.
Yeah.
And you'd never done it before, but I want to give you money.
Yeah.
Would you say yes and figure it out, or would you would?
Yeah.
So you'd say yes confidently.
Yeah.
I think that's something else as well, saying something with confidence.
Yeah, and I think that's when you are messaging people, they can sense fear if you do dawdle around it. I think that then so you've got to be sharp and to the point, and you know, while still being fluffy.
Yeah.
That's my motto.
So have you ever done that then? Have you ever taken on a job that you've never done something before and you had to just figure it out?
I think quite a few in the beginning. It was about that. It was about just figuring it out. I know my mesh hoop, trying to put an organic garland on there when I didn't really know any other technique other than fishing line technique to make a garland, and that was tricky because how on earth do you make something out of fishing line that's going to fall and cascade onto the floor? And it was a nightmare. I think I ended up like really ripping my hair out on that one, but I got to the end result luckily, and it was nice. But now I know that there's a way easier way of doing it, and that's all it is. It's about like finding those ways to save you the time, to save you the product as well, because I'm all about less is more.
Ultimately though, your clients don't know how things are made.
As long
they
as they're
don't
not
know.
there when you do.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as they're not there when
they don't know what right looks like.
No.
And as long as the overall effect,
Yeah.
or if they've seen something on Instagram and said, oh, can you do this?
Yeah.
Then you do that. Yeah, I think there's definitely something to be said about being confident. I remember when we started, I used to do balloon in a box, and then somebody phoned up and said, oh, do you do balloon printing? We just said, yeah, we do balloon printing. Put the phone down, Google home balloon printers in the UK.
Yeah.
And then we found one or two that weren't great, and then we eventually found a good one. And then for the next 3-4 years, balloon printing became the main part of our business, just by saying yes.
Yeah.
And we figured it out. Like I say, we had to go through 1 or 2 balloon printers that weren't the greatest, didn't offer good service. The print quality was not very good. But then we eventually found some that were really, there was 5 or 6 we ended up working with quite a lot, and that was just because we said, yeah, of course we can, no problem at all, and then you just worry about it later.
I did that with gender reveal balloons.
Oh, really?
And I
You didn't do a pink one, it should have been a blue, did you?
No, it was just the whole method of filling it with other balloons, and I was like, I didn't use a stuffer or anything like that. Now I use a stuffer, and it's like, I'll just drop these balloons in there.
Oh, so you've got a super
I've
stuffer.
got a super stuffer now, and I
brilliant.
just drop them in, and I'm like, yeah, there we go, woo. Whereas before, I'd be holding the neck and then forcing the balloon, and then getting a pump, and my hand would just be aching off. And I just hated doing them, but it was the first one that asked me to do them, and I was like, yeah, I can do that. And then I thought, how on earth am I going to do this?
Yeah.
But it worked out in the end. But that's what I mean. I think if you persevere with it enough, it just ends up working out.
So you mentioned the super stuffer there. What's, I've got a question from Pat. Pat's just asking, where are you based?
I'm based up in Stoke, so it's kind of the middle place between Manchester, Birmingham and Liverpool.
Okay.
We're like in the middle of all them three.
And it's where Robbie Williams comes from.
Robbie Williams, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Robbie Williams is from there. You mentioned the super stuffer there. Equipment. What equipment would you recommend people invest in?
I would say the helium gun inflator. Like the gun thing.
The trigger valve.
The trigger, that's the proper word for it. Yeah, I'd recommend getting one of them because obviously with bubbles, it's just so quick and easy to do bubbles with them. I had just a latex inflator for so long. I'd recommend, I forgot it in my pocket, my tent peg.
Your tent peg?
I'd get a tent peg. This one's followed me through at least 3 years. I did lose one in the beginning, but a tent peg. That's for double stuffing.
I was going to say, tell people why you have a tent peg.
For double stuffing, I swear by it. You know, to double stuff, it just works. It just works.
Maybe we should start selling tent pegs
Maybe
at the
I
market.
should.
Oh, we
should. Oh, you should. Yeah. We'll get the square ones because I think the round ones, it kind of grips onto the balloon a bit more. I think it has to have the square bit on the end.
All right.
But I mean, it's quite bent in that now, but it does the job.
And we could call them balloon stuffer tools.
Yeah. And then another thing I would recommend getting is a tall enough workbench, because to save your back, you just need to look after your spine massively. So a workbench that is at right angle level to your height.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Where do you get your workbenches from?
Rapid Racking.
Yeah. We use Big Doug, and we always have done for 18 years now. And Rapid Racking is very similar, but proper workbenches. They're really easy to put together. You just hammer them together.
Yeah, you just hammer them together. My dad's put mine on casters now, so I can wheel them around the unit. So that's right. But I did have them in my living room. There's a reel, if anyone wants to look back, where I've got 2 big workbenches, and I've converted my dining area of the living room into a complete setup.
So you had a workbench in your dining room?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's commitment right there.
Yeah,
go and have a look.
I did.
Hayley, can you go back and have a look at that? If you used to when was that?
So I moved out of there, it was August 2021, I think, and then I moved into the little storage container thing. So it was just before then. I had everything was just within reach there, and that's what I miss now. I've got all this space, so I'm like, oh, where's that? And I've got to walk about 5 miles. My watch thinks I'm like working out, and I'm just going to get my vinyl. So everything's all spread out. So I used to love it. I could get my vinyl from there, I could get my balloons from there, I could get something from under there, and I used to watch people out my living room window whilst I worked, and the telly was at the back. It was great.
You still have a telly at work now, can you?
Yeah.
If you wanted
to. I need to get a little telly at work.
So what other equipment?
So you said a workbench. Cricket.
Okay.
Or Silhouette. Other ones are available, but I use a Cricket. I've had my Cricket for about 3 years now. So I'd recommend getting that because you can add value onto your balloons like instantly just by putting a name on it. So
just personalising. Yeah. Absolutely.
Personalising. carefully choosing what you add on there because of copyright, etc.
Yeah.
But names, winner every time.
So when you say that about copyright, what do you mean? Do you want to explain?
I
in
mean,
simple
like that
terms?
fonts that don't belong to you, logos.
Because you can buy fonts, they're
Yeah,
really easy,
you
so
can buy
you
fonts.
can buy them if necessary.
Well, it's just like, I think some people have been caught by putting football logos
Yeah.
on, which is hard when the customers wants that, but
Yeah.
it's hard to, you know.
With the Olympics coming up, one thing you should not do is do anything with the Olympics.
Yeah.
If you put the Olympics on your website, we had a call from the Olympic people years ago because we put something to do with the Olympics on the website. And the thing they were most concerned about was that we weren't allowed to use the word the Olympics or the 2012 Olympics or whatever it was. We could call them the Games, but you couldn't call it the Olympics.
Oh.
And they were on the phone to us saying, take that down now, otherwise we will sue you.
Oh.
So be careful if you're going to do anything to do with the Olympics.
Yeah.
Just be really, really careful there because they
Yeah.
are scouring the internet. If you put anything online,
Yeah.
they will come after you. So yeah, that was a bit scary when they did that.
I know that it's with the cardboard cutouts as well. It's you got to be careful what you're advertising that display as and stuff like that. So we just got to be careful because nobody wants to end up with a big legal bill, do they? So
I mean, the big one that's quite common now in our industry is when everybody's doing the elves and they call it an elf on the shelf.
Yeah.
But nobody's buying. Elf on the Shelf is a brand.
Yeah.
And if you're using elves, I can't remember what they're called, the ones that we have, that most people have, naughty elves, are much cheaper than Elf on the Shelf. But if you call it an elf on a shelf, they come after you, and people have had their Instagram accounts shut down because of it. So
and we all love those elves.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed being an elf for the Christmas.
I like now I've got more space to do the elves in now. That's nice because I can just spread them out. I can remember the first year I did elves and I fell to the floor after making my final one, and I think I cried a little bit.
How many did you make?
My first year, I think I made them different. I made them as a fakie, so I did my fakie design, which is an orb on top of a stand, and then they all hung down a little bit. But when I took a photo of them, they all looked like they were pole dancing. It was quite fun.
Okay, all right.
But there was a lot of vinyl involved in them, so I think I did about 40 of them. But there's just so much tying, and there was all 5-inch balloons and everything on them. But now I do. Well, I did a new design this year, and it did quite well. So I did. I think it was 80 in total, something like that. Yeah.
And that's just you on your own doing them?
Yeah, just me on my own in a freezing cold unit as well. My heater broke when I was drawing the elves as well. So yeah.
That's hard as well, because then if you're inflating them when it's cold, then you worry about them taking them into a hot room when they get delivered.
Yeah.
We used to, when we were doing balloon in a box, we used to really worry about that. And I remember some of the Valentine's Day for balloon in a box was the big one.
Yeah.
And I remember the first one we did, working at home, little baby beside us in a cot thing, and it was I think we got 1 hour's sleep, so we finished at 6 o'clock in the morning, went to bed for an hour, and got up for Royal Mail to start collecting. I don't know how many hundreds we did, but it was a lot, and it was exhausting. Was it worth it? I have no idea.
If your pricing's right, it's worth it.
I don't think it was, honestly. I was so exhausted. It was
It is one of them
horrible.
things, you just, all the impending doom all the way through November, you're like, oh, what
It's like you want the
can I
sales,
do?
you want the sales, but then at the same time, you know you're going to have to deal with them. And of course,
Yeah.
you don't want to turn a sale down.
No.
Because they can be quite profitable if you do it. That's why you've got to focus on a process or focus on a design that's less intensive but still has the impact and all of that.
Definitely.
And that's, I guess, where Instagram and Pinterest and all the others are very good, is that's where you get ideas from.
Yeah.
So you can get ideas for designs and do something completely unique.
I just switch it up by, if you just add a couple of colours of vinyl, I find that adds a more a more expensive feel to your balloons, and the vinyl is something that you can do weeks before, so just add in those different colours, or maybe a more chromey colour onto there. That's a good way of just elevating the design without having to do it when you're blowing it up as well. So
when you say a couple of colours, you mean a couple of colours on a single balloon?
On a single balloon, yeah.
Right, okay.
I've always found that if you put multiple colours on, it always just looks like you've done a bit more to it. So I've always found that.
That's an interesting tip. That is really good. Try it out, everybody.
Yeah.
See if you can sell your balloons. You should do that, actually. Just have exactly the same design, but do one with one colour of vinyl and one with two colours of vinyl, and see if it makes a difference.
I always think two colours just looks better.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Well, we've been going for an hour, so...
Has that been an hour?
Yeah, more or less.
Waffling
Nearly. Yeah, we have. So, is there anything else you would like to share with everybody?
I think just if you haven't had a go of using Tuftex, just give it a whirl, and I just think that you'll fall in love with them as much as I have. And the colours as well, and they should be on the shelves now.
Yeah,
the colours are back in stock.
We've got them here at Balloon Markets. Obviously, if there's anything out of stock, it'll say out of stock and say 0. But we had a big order come in this week, I think it was, and we should be having another one coming in hopefully in the next few weeks. So yeah, we are getting more and more things,
especially for the summer, because outside these
do really
will
well,
outlast any, and for helium as well.
Yeah.
They're great for helium. The float time is great with Tuftex as well for your helium balloons.
I remember when I first started seeing Tuftex balloons, and a lot of the designs were outside, but they had oxidised, but they look really good when they're oxidised as well. So really,
they do. They look really nice.
Somebody else comments. Hi from Kansas, USA. Hello, Morgan. Well, thank you very much for the last couple of days and filming. Everybody, look out for these shows. They're going to be coming out over the coming months. We did some corkers, I'm very proud to say. You can't see it, but there are balloons everywhere behind these cameras. Alex is struggling to sit at his table because there's that many balloons. And we had to move some to another room as well. But you've got some really good shows. Thank you so much for doing that. I think we've got some really great ones using all Tuftex balloons. But as I say, you'll see those coming up in the next few weeks and months. Right, well, thank you once again. I hope you have are you driving back tonight? I'm
driving back tonight.
Oh my God,
I'll probably just
you're
be
gonna
like,
shattered. Drink coffee before you go.
I might, I'm going to look forward. I might treat myself to a glass of fizz when I get home, I think.
Yeah. If you want a coffee, I can make sure I make it rather than Alex, because I don't want him making
it.
But thank you everybody for watching. Keep an eye out for our next live. Who knows when it's going to be, but it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And we'll see you soon, and we will see everybody out there very, very soon. Have fun. Bye.